neighborhood that it's unlikely to be under the radar that much longer. Get downtown in 20 minutes. You could walk over to the golf course, teeing off within 10 minutes from your front door. So the composite has the average at just under 1.1 million versus the average in the city of Toronto that's almost 1.7 million. So you're saving $600,000 on the average, 11,422 new units planned for the neighborhood at various levels of development or construction. Some of those buildings are completing right now. If it's not plain to you guys watching right now that Weston is the place to buy right now, I mean, it's plain to me. Call, email us. We'd be more than happy to chat. Okay, so let's jump right into things. So Weston is a neighborhood in the northwest pocket of the city. Its epicenter is Weston and Lawrence. There's three things that kind of make this neighborhood an under-the-radar neighborhood, in our opinion. The first thing is its historical significance. So Weston was an independent village. So unlike many other neighborhoods in Toronto that were just built as almost suburbs from the original small city, Weston was its own independent village when it was founded way back in the 1800s, and it only became incorporated into the city of Toronto in 1967. So the cool thing with Weston, like I said, unlike some other neighborhoods in the expanded city of Toronto that were once suburbs, this was a thriving village. So the streets are a little bit more narrow, things are more compact. It really gives you that small town feeling in the city. You know, Weston has its own downtown kind of along Weston Road. And the one great thing about this neighborhood is there's tons of massive Victorian-era homes on huge lots. And we'll get to that in a minute when we start covering the numbers in the area. And then the second thing that makes this area very much an under-the-radar neighborhood is its location. So we already spoke about Weston being kind of at the epicenter, the epicenter of Weston being at Lawrence and Weston. When we look at what is in that area in terms of location and accessibility, you have many different ways to get to kind of all corners of the GTA. So number one, if you're a car commuter, you're pretty much right at the Highway 401, and you're also at the highway where the Highway 400 begins, right near Weston. So car commuter, you can easily get to all corners of the GTA from that location really quickly, or I should say relatively quickly. We all know what the Highway 401 and 400 can look like on the best of days. However, they're there. But the real key to this neighborhood is transit. We're talking mass transit. So you have the Up Express, which you jump on that. It's right in the heart of Weston. For those, if you can kind of see it on my screen right here, I'm zooming in right here on the railway. So you can see right here is the Weston Up Express and Go station. You jump on that, get downtown in 20 minutes, or get to Pearson Airport in 10 minutes. Super convenient. I mean, really, this is what makes Weston very much a neighborhood that will likely, I mean, it's unlikely to be under the radar that much longer, especially when we start talking about new development, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, so transit, stellar from this location. Oh, and just down the street in Mount Dennis, there's the brand new Metrolinx LRT station, effectively subway. It's gonna be right there. So you can jump on either the GO train for one stop in Mount Dennis and transfer over to the subway. Or, I mean, if you want to walk it, it's not a crazy long walk, it's probably 15-20 minute walk down to the Mount Dennis station, or jump on the bike, whatever. Talking about bikes, you also, because you're on the banks of the Humber River, there's a great walking and bike path along the shores of the Humber here, and you can get down to Lakeshore. Sorry, the path goes all the way down to Lakeshore. So if you are an avid cyclist, or if you like to bike to work, you could bike to work in about a 40 minutes from Weston if you follow this bike path. There are some quicker routes throughout the city, but I mean, this is probably the most scenic. Again, as you can see here on the screen, you can see the river, and that path goes all the way down to Lakeshore, and then you just go east, and you're smack in the middle of downtown Toronto in about 40 minutes on your bike. So, location, stellar. And then the third thing that makes Weston an under-the-radar neighborhood is that it's diversity, and it's very authentic. And so, I mean, if you ever visited Weston, it's just a melting pot of different cultures. Due to the way it's constructed from a housing perspective, you have a lot of old Victorian homes, but you also have a lot of condos and apartment buildings, so it creates this very eclectic mix of residents in Weston. And the key, I mean, one of the cool things with that diversity is that it also has a different feel. Like, again, when we get back to the original historical significance of Weston, because it was a village, it still retains a lot of that kind of small community feeling once you're in Weston. Even though you're in a large city, it almost has its own little bubble where it kind of feels like a small town, especially with the parks. And I mean, there's a golf course in Weston, which is amazing. So I mean, you could be living in Weston and you could walk over to the golf course, or I mean, if the city allowed it, you could jump on a golf cart and you could be teeing off within 10 minutes from your front door, which is pretty cool. So with all of that, the location, the historical significance, and the diversity, the other key point to Weston, I guess we have 4 points, is that it's going to be going through a massive amount of development and redevelopment. There are so last time we've compiled the numbers, 11,422, and that number's probably a little bit higher now, because this was from February. We need to update the spreadsheet. I don't think there was too many more new developments that were announced since then, but back in February, 11,422 new units planned for the neighborhood at various levels of development or construction. Some of those buildings are completing right now. The Humber is about to complete. I mean, it's completed. It's about to register. I think it's occupying right now. It's about to register fairly soon. And there's a few other developments at different stages of development. We are trying to get into the Humber. Hopefully we'll have a suite tour for you coming at the end of the month, so watch out for that. But another development that we're super excited in is Weston Park. So you can see right here on the screen, beautiful architecture. This is located, again, right at the epicenter of Weston, at Weston and Lawrence. So it's going to be 2 towers. It's effectively going to be connected. I mean, I don't think officially, but it's built pretty much right on top of the Weston Up Express and Go station. So you can be in your building, walk out of your, I guess, back door of the building, and you'll be at the Go station, at the Up Express station in seconds. So super convenient for this building. There's also a new community center going into the building, and I believe it is supposed to launch this year. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, new development right now, with the rate increases and all this stuff kind of going on in the macro market, we'll see when this launches. But I am super, super, super excited. I don't know how many more times I can say super about this project. It is what I feel is going to completely transform people's views and opinions on the neighborhood, and it's really going to be that jewel in the center of Weston. So that's what makes Weston an under-the-radar neighborhood. We're going to have a neighborhood tour coming up for the area at the end of the month. But let's jump into the numbers right now. This is a real estate podcast. You're probably waiting for that. So let's jump into the numbers. Let's pull them up right here. So Weston, and these numbers are powered by Your Castle. Your Castle is a proprietary service done by my brokerage, Sage Real Estate. If you're interested in having access to this, I use it all the time to pull up my neighborhood reports, to do home valuations. If you're interested in having access to this, just send us an email and we can get you hooked up onto Your Castle so you can see these same neighborhood reports that I'm pulling right now. And the cool thing is, it actually has a home valuation tool that's better than pretty much most of the other ones on the market. Because not only does the AI pull the valuation for your house monthly, It does it automatically. Yours truly or any other Sage agent goes in and it verifies that the numbers that the AI pulled are accurate. Most of the time they are. We'll check it out. So let's jump into things. All right, so detached houses, average selling price in Weston right now is 1.22 million. That was 5 listings that sold, and these numbers are from June. 5 listings sold in June. The listing sold for about 103% of the asking price. So numbers were quite a little elevated in the neighborhood in June. However, that's likely to change if you watched our market update. We kind of gave our opinion on where we think the market is heading. Days on market 12, sales to new listings ratio was 50%. It's pretty much a balanced market. That means 50% of the new listings that hit the market sold. So we kind of see that as fairly balanced and not super competitive, which is also nice with the under the radar neighborhoods. You don't have the same level of competition that you would face in many of the other trendy neighborhoods in the GTA or in downtown Toronto. One key thing is that when we look at the detached houses that were sold, if you look at the lot sizes, they are huge. I mean, we're looking at frontages of, the smallest one was 30 feet, all the way up to 50-foot frontages. So these are almost suburban-sized lots, but in the city. You're not having to drive 2 to 3 hours outside of the city to get a 50 by 120 lot or a 47 by 135-foot lot. This is in the city. From these houses, you're jumping on the Up Express and you're downtown in 20 minutes. You can't beat that. So when we look at the composite numbers are more of a smoothed out average stat. So if you look at the price versus the city of Toronto, so I'll zoom in here so you can kind of see it. So the composite has the average at just under 1.1 million at $1,067,440 versus the average in the city of Toronto that's almost 1.7 million. So you're saving $600,000 on the average detached house versus the overall average in the city of Toronto, which is a massive savings. And not only that, we talked about the suburbs and the 1 to 2 to 3 hour commute versus the suburbs. It's still $100,000 less to buy in Weston, and you're not sacrificing on lot size or home size to buy in Weston. I mean, for me, it's plain to see. That you can buy in Weston, get a large house, and still save over the overall average from the suburbs. So you don't need to move 2 hours away. You can move to Weston and get, in my opinion, sometimes better built homes, because these are Victorian-era homes in Weston for a massive savings over the suburbs, or massive savings over the overall city of Toronto. So when we now jump into semi-detached houses, there aren't as many semi-detached houses in Weston. We'll still take a look at the numbers. The average selling price, $944,500. There's only 2 listings that sold. They sold for 114% of asking. Some of that is also just due to marketing. Agents underlist properties purposefully to create a bidding war, and also just to kind of let the market dictate what the price is, right? So generally, a lot of the sale prices you see online are artificially low and they get bid up. They sold in only 4 days, the 2 semis that did sell. So things got snapped up quickly, and it was a 0% sales to listings ratio because there's only 2 sales and 2 listings. So yeah, we can see here the 2 sales. Again, when we look at the composite, which is kind of the smoothed out average, when we look at here, the smoothed out average over the course of the year, about 817,417 versus the overall average in the city of Toronto, which was 1.253 million. So another massive gap. And the dark gray line there that you see, the average of $1 million, it's still a $200,000 savings in Weston versus even the suburbs. Again, Weston, in the city of Toronto, you have a 416 address, an M postal code, and you're saving $200,000 over the suburbs to buy a semi. Man, if you're watching this podcast and you're blown away, call me now. We can set up a search for you in Weston, and we can get you into Weston. It's a great way to beat the rate increase. If you're saving $200,000 on a home and a 20-minute commute downtown with, from 2 months ago, 0.5% increase in your mortgage rates, Weston is a good inflation and rate beater, that's for sure. And then we look at condos. Average price $642,450. Those 4 listings sold for almost 100% of the ask price. Days on market 65, that's just the condo market right now. I mean, also things in Weston move a little bit slower than downtown. I think downtown we were closer to 30 days on market, so double the amount of days on market. There's just less demand in Weston. Right now, that will change. You can quote me on that. Watch this back in 2 years and you're going to know that Josh was right. I mean, see. But sales and listing 40%, so not a lot of competition for listings there, as you can see. So when we look at what has sold, 2 of the units were new construction. 10 Wilby Crescent is the Humber. It's the new development that's just about to close soon. And then we had Hickory Tree Road. I know that building very well. We've had listings, we've had clients buy in there. And then we had 2130 Weston Road that had sold. Now the key thing to look at here, I'm going to zoom in on screen. Hopefully you can see it. Very, very large units being sold in Weston. In our next segment of the podcast, we're going to get into family size condos. Weston is a neighborhood definitely worth keeping an eye on because you're getting very, very large condos for pretty good prices. I mean, if we look at Hickory Tree Road, you're getting a unit over 1,000 square feet for $540,000. Yes, you read that right, $540,000. That is $540 a square foot versus the city of Toronto. If you go downtown, I mean, you're hard pressed to find anything under $1,500 a square foot. I mean, yeah. So let's look at the composite average. So the composite is a little tighter than freehold homes, right? So the average in the city of Toronto is almost 750,000 versus 678. But as we just saw there, the homes that are being sold in Weston, the condos being sold in Weston are quite a bit larger than your average downtown Toronto condo. So while there's only about about an $80,000 delta, you're getting probably 200 to 300 more square feet in Weston than elsewhere in the city of Toronto. Same thing when it comes to the suburbs. Most of the condo product in the suburbs is a lot newer than what you'd find in Weston on average. So again, in the suburbs, maybe slightly larger than the overall average in downtown Toronto. But from what I've seen selling in the suburbs at almost $700,000, they're generally 700 to 800 square foot condos. Again, whereas in Weston, we're averaging much closer to about 900 square feet for just under 680. So lastly, we'll touch on condo townhouses. Condo townhouses, there's a lot of product in the neighborhood. So unlike some other under the radar neighborhoods, Weston has a very diverse mix of housing. So you can pretty much get anything you want. You want detached house, semi, townhouse, condo, townhouse. They've got them all. So again, you don't have to kind of pick and choose what house type you want. We've got it all in Weston. So the average selling price, $655,000 for a townhouse. That's wild. 3 listings sold, 101% selling to list price. Only 9 days on market for a condo townhouse. People are starting to, I think, catch on to Weston a little bit. Sales to the listing, 50%, so fairly balanced. Again, we look at the prices and the size of the townhouses being sold, and it is just wild. We're looking at 3-bedroom condo townhouses with outdoor space. A lot of these ones have balconies or terraces, over 1,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 washrooms for under $700,000. That is wild, man. $665,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or $620,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the city, 20-minute commute downtown. You have a massive park, a linear park that goes along the Humber, green spaces, basketball courts, community center, hockey rink there. You got a skate park in Weston. You have the golf course, like I mentioned. 3-bedroom, 2 bathrooms for about $600,000 in the city, 416 M postal code. Man, my brain might explode. This is crazy. And now, again, when we look at the composite, $858,000 for the city of Toronto versus Weston, which is $669,000. It's almost $200,000 less. And you're getting a ton of square footage. Whew. All right. So, I mean, I knew these numbers, and still looking at them again, it is shocking how much of a savings you're getting in Weston versus not only the city of Toronto versus the suburbs. And it's an up-and-coming area, tons of development, 11,000 new homes being planned there. I mean, if it's not plain to you guys watching right now that Weston is the place to buy right now, I mean, it's plain to me. Call, email us. We'd be more than happy to chat. If you even want to just take a tour around Weston, check out a few properties, hit us up. Even if you're not in the market right now, if you're planning on buying 2-3 years from now, hit us up, because Weston is where it's at. And I mean, I don't think you have to necessarily rush to buy right now. However, there's probably a pretty good buying opportunity in Weston right now. Certainly worth keeping an eye on. We have clients kind of monitoring the area. So again, reach out. You don't have to be buying right now. We can even hook you up if you haven't been pre-approved or anything. We have some great mortgage brokers. Hit us up. You need to be looking at Weston right now. You will, I mean, this is not financial advice, but there's a very good chance that this is a really good investment opportunity that you need to take advantage of right now. Interested in looking at buying, selling, renting in under the radar neighborhoods or anywhere in the city of Toronto, certainly hit us up. We'd be more than happy to help you out. Even if you're not looking to buy right now, if you just want to browse, just want information, if you just want an opinion of value, anything real estate related, hit us up. More than happy to chat. Hit us up with the Calendly link. Haven't had too many people book there. Don't be afraid. Book it. If you want to book a call just to chat about anything, if you want to rant about Bank of Canada, rant about house prices, call us. We're more than happy to chat. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. If you like what you're seeing, keep liking, keep commenting, subscribe, tell your friends about us. Peace out.